Greetings upon greetings, and welcome to First Play, brought to you by the home of Afro House Drums Radio. I'm your host for this evening's proceedings, Dave Rankin. Today we have a wonderful guest by the name of Babalwa Soul, and we're going to be introducing her brand new single, Ingoma, which she's worked with Georgio Bassetti. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Giorgio Bassetti, he has pretty much worked with a lot of people, and he's one of the founding heads over at Madoris in the house. So it's going to be very, very interesting and a wonderful conversation we'll have today with the new artist, Babalwa Soul. Greetings, sister. How are you? I believe we should be good to go now.
Yes, we're definitely good to go now. My apologies about that. I had a bit of a network issue right there.
No problem. No problem at all.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yes. So, some of our listeners or some of our fans are pretty much brand new to who you are, right? So, let's go ahead and start right at the beginning. So, I read somewhere that you started singing in church.
Yes, I started singing at Rhema Bible Church. I was in the choir there for 8 years, and the beautiful experience that I had was exposure to professional artists. And on my first year, I got auditioned to go and be one of the backing vocalists, alto backing vocalists for Josh Groban. That was 2004.
Hmm.
Yes. And then from Josh Groban, it was Israel Houghton and the New Breed. It was the Heel Song, and the rest was just history. But I started a church here.
Oh, beautiful. What do you remember about those early days of you singing in church?
The stage fright. That was because it's a huge church and it's an international church. So my first experience on stage was at church.
Okay.
So, and being auditioned at church was not something I was used to because I'm from the Eastern Cape, this side, which is more of a small town type of situation and setup. So when I got there, it was like, woo, I'm in Johannesburg, big city. And when you are a backing vocalist, they do sound check. It's so professional. They do sound check. You go for voice training. And if there's a big artist coming into the country, that was the first church that would peak for auditioning people because they had the best voices. Even to join the choir, you had to go for auditions. But because music has always been my love, so I knew I could actually do that. So I decided to join the choir in 2004 and left in 2008. Yes.
Okay. So, with that experience back then, what would you say, that you've taken away from that experience, and has that shaped you as an artist today?
I think the most important thing is stage etiquette.
Okay.
Stage, something that a lot of people don't really look at. And because I'm a music writer, I actually realized that a lot of hymns that were actually sang at Rhema were songs that were coming from the heart. They were influenced by the experience, the spiritual experience that one encounters whilst, writing that song and singing. Writing was never really my first thing. Music was my first love. So
Okay.
writing came about from that experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. So now, stage fright. You get on stage for the first time, right? What were the butterflies like back then? Like, how did you get over the butterflies? Like, how did you go ahead and let yourself go to get submerged? Of course, into music.
The thing is, you have a crowd of about 30 people behind you, and there's only 4 or 6 of you right behind the actual lead singer. And you'll find that out of the 4 or 6, there's probably 2 altos or maybe just you. But the key thing was this. I think the stage fright came from the fact that I'd never had that experience before. And this meant doing it or not doing it at all for me.
Yeah.
And I think I love pushing myself as well. So I actually had put myself on the spot there. So it was a do or die situation. And it was a church, yes, I agree. But the level and the standard of the whole process was so high that it actually meant if you don't crack it now, you're never gonna do this. So I had to do it. And I think more of a blessing for me was that my first experience was with Josh Groban. Because
Mhm.
now, when we were picked from a church stage, right?
Mhm.
And there were guys, the producers are listening at you guys. Whilst the service is going on and the praise and worship is happening, they I look listening to you guys individually from
Mhm.
those machines. And I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do to myself? But this is something I want to do. I
Right.
love this. So I had to push myself to that level. I
What
hope
did
that answers you.
No, that's perfect. That's a wonderful answer. And it leads me to my follow-up question was, what did you learn about yourself throughout that whole experience, especially putting yourself into that do or die situation?
It actually taught me one thing. When I put my mind into something and when I commit into something, I actually grab hold of it and run with it.
Hmm.
That for me was because, for instance, I'm sorry, I'm just going to fast strike you a bit and come back. I
No
hope
worries.
that's fine.
No
For
problem.
instance, when I decided to do music, which was 2020, I actually grabbed it and ran with it. And it's a decision that I had made. So that experience actually made me realize one thing about myself. When I put my heart into something and I grab hold of it, I run with it, and there is no turning back. Whether
Hmm.
I put myself on the spot, but it's the beauty about it is the outcome is always perfect. The
Hmm.
outcome is always beautiful. So at times I say I don't really understand myself. Music is a way of defining who I am, but
Hmm.
the outcome is always amazing.
Beautiful. That's so wonderful to hear. I've interviewed a few artists along the years, and of course, who found themselves at a crossroads at some point in time, where they found themselves in
Yes.
one part of the world or one part of, of course, of their life, and but music has always been a calling to them, right? So my next question to you is this: was how difficult was that decision for you to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this full time?
Well, it was not difficult at all because the country had gone through lockdown
Hmm.
around March because I actually worked for government for the Gauteng Department of Health for 7 years. After that, I decided to start a marketing company and I did events and I was hosting. I actually ran a men's forum in the process and we were dealing with GBV. So I hosted a lot of those events. And after that, I
Hmm.
got into partnership with the Central African Republic Embassy and we called our company Good Consulting. So having to do all those things in 2018, because I launched my business on the 1st of September 2018, and then be told in 2020 that there's lockdown and everything is locked down. And I remember on my birthday, which was the 4th of March, 2020, I was coming from a meeting with a group of Congolese guys who wanted to start a mine, but because in one of the companies that I was working for, we deal with embassies. I actually felt alone because now we're on lockdown and it's level 5. You can't leave your premises unless you're going to buy essentials, and
Hmm.
everything is on lockdown. And when I say lockdown, I mean everything.
Hmm.
Music had a way, it was easy to choose music because music is something that I felt I should have done from the onset.
Hmm.
But because, the pressure from the family, no, you need to go to university, you need to complete school, if it were for me, I probably would have started singing at the age of 15. But
Okay.
because I was raised by my granny and there were those values back home that you need to study, you need to go to university, then you need to work. So the 9 to 5 was something that I actually had to adapt to based on the lifestyle that I knew it was a norm for me. The 9 to 5, as they call it, it's 8 to 4, 9 to 5. But
Hmm.
then it was easy for me to choose music because that's what could keep me sane on lockdown.
Hmm.
Then that zeal came back because now I was at a point where I had to really search myself and do introspection. And the only language I knew was music because that's the only thing that could actually translate where my mind was at the time.
Hmm.
Because if I want to express myself in any way, I take a pen and a paper and I just start dodging. And I felt that music was the only friend I had. And the sad thing was a lot of companies went down, including my own personally, not the partnerships, but my personal business. And hence I had to write Pambili.
Mm,
Pambili I wrote on lockdown. I spoke to teach on lockdown. And Pambili was just the anthem for me that, you know what, Pambili means forward. No matter what happens,
mhm,
nothing's going to hold me back. I got to move forward. So that's
mm.
what Pambili means. And I wrote Pambili then, and music was my friend on lockdown. That's what kept me sane, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. One thing that I do find, especially with some of us who are coming from a 9 to 5 background, that the longer that we stayed in it, it tends to go ahead and actually deviate ourselves from that actual creative process, that creative spirit that we do have.
Yes.
Right. So, did you find yourself in that moment having moments of where this 9 to 5 was pushing that creative spirit away from you?
Well, it did. It did. Because I had to be creative in my own professional or career. Because I remember a lot of people used to call me a lot of things in the office because that was the only thing I had, from 9 o'clock to 5 a.m. So I had to exercise that creative spirit. Because when you're an artist anywhere. You
Yes.
know, the space doesn't really define who you are, or it doesn't really confine you, if I may put it that way. You're not confined. You basically can be creative. When you are a creative, that is who you are. You can actually, if you're a positive thinker, though, you can actually use that gift of yours in any sphere in life.
Mhm,
Creativity works differently. I was an admin officer at Gauteng Health. I used that skill of creativity there. When we had meetings, I would book boardrooms. I had to find joy in what I was doing at the time. I would
mhm,
book meetings. I would play with the venues. I would play with the creativity of draping the actual venue and the menu. I had to play with the toys that were in front of me, and I had to be creative with that because the key focus was I gotta win. No matter what space I'm in, I
mhm,
have to translate that into art, into a language that I understand. And the
mhm,
only language I understood from that 9 to 5 o'clock was creativity. So I had to be creative there, and I did well. I did well. I think it's all in the mind. It's all
mhm,
in the mind. So
mhm.
I did well as an admin officer, and well, last year I turned 40. 40 had to release me into my calling, you know?
Mhm, mhm. But you know what? Like, it's a wonderful message, especially since we do have, of course, many people who are facing the same situation right now, right? For yourself now, who went ahead and propelled yourself to writing Pimbili, right? And of course, launching, of course, this career now, right? Well, can't say
Yes.
launching because you've already been in this space, right? So I mean, but of course, going after your love, going after your true love during out this whole process. Explain to us in the audience, of course, the joy that you feel now for now exploring this realm for yourself.
Sorry, come again. Sorry, I didn't get the last point there, and I should explain.
No problem. Explain the joy that you feel now from actually exploring your true love now in music.
It's liberating. It's the breath of fresh air. It's
Mhm,
like having a beach house, just walking out of your house, and before you know it, you're standing in front of this big creature called the sea,
mhm,
and you're seeing beautiful mountains, and you're just enjoying life to the full. It feels like the breath of fresh air because, for instance, your true love now in real life always has contenders. It always has competition. It always has something that's battling with it. It was a very tough decision that I had to make.
mhm,
And I actually spoke to God because I'm a very spiritual person. And I said, Lord, I'm 40 and I find myself 10 step backwards because even what I thought I could do has now dropped. I don't have money. I don't have this. My account is literally, not nice to look at. What do I do? You blessed me. You said in your word, my gift will take me before great men. It will
Mm,
make room for me,
mm,
open doors for me, open doors for me. And I think because I went in with a knowing that I have a gift and it's been dormant for years, for 39 years of my life.
mm,
If I'm going to use it, then I'm going to have to use it with purpose and intention. And not for money, not just for money, but with purpose and intention and with a message that liberates not just the person, but the mind. You know, that
mm.
was the key thing. As a result, a lot of my songs that I write, I can't tell you which one is my favorite. I don't have a favorite. At this point, it's all about liberating emotions because
Right.
lately, lately, as the years have passed, because I'm the 80s baby, so that means I like the 90s jams. But
Okay.
you know, one thing I've realized about the new generation is that they're very emotional beings. They're
Okay.
not strong emotionally. So
Mm,
you need to write tracks and songs that are going to liberate people emotionally because
mm,
a lot of things have been happening and we are a depressed society. So if
mm,
you're going to write a song like a musician and a songwriter, it has to be a song with a message that's going to give hope, that's going to liberate, particularly the mind. Because in these days, there's nothing else that we can use. You don't walk 10 miles, 20 Ks, and whatever distance like before. You use your brains,
right.
so we need musicians that are going to have messages that are going to liberate the mind.
For sure. Absolutely. And speaking in regards to the emotion, let's lead right into, of course, to the track that which led you to me today, which is Ingoma. I found that the song was
Yeah, single.
very emotional beat. Um,
Yes.
how did it, well let's do, of course, the relationship between now yourself. How did you get hooked up with Giorgio Bassetti? How did that begin for yourself?
Well, it all started with a friend of mine, a business partner of mine who used to be a DJ back in Cape Town. And I said to him, you know what? I used to hide my gift. That was another thing. So the people that I hang with didn't really know that I could sing. They didn't even have my old videos from church. So he
Okay.
didn't know I could sing. So I sent him my two old demos and I said to him, this is what I'd like to pursue. Then he introduced me to Mark Stunt
Okay.
and forwarded Mark Stunt's WhatsApp messages to me. Then Mark Stunt introduced me to Shauna SA, and then Shauna SA introduced me to Antonello,
Antonello.
and the rest is history. That's how I met Uncover Music through Shauna. It all started with Shauna.
Oh man, beautiful. You see that? You see, it's like you said, open doors. Your gift will go ahead and open those doors, and looks what it does, definitely,
Yes,
for sure.
yes,
So
yes,
you
yes.
gotta tell me, so when you first heard the beat coming back over from Giorgio, how did that make you feel? What type of feelings or emotion did it invoke in you?
That's scary. The question that you just asked me is scary.
Ah,
I got the instrumental, the soundtrack 2 days after I had written Ingoma. And what was weird was my melody as I was writing and the actual instrumental were the same. I
wow,
don't know Giorgio Bassetti, I don't know Anto. And when I told Anto this, I literally had goosebumps because the melody that you hear in Ingoma is the same melody I had when he did that sound. And when
wow.
he sent me that track, I remember saying it in front of my husband that, you know what, this is so weird because this song is exactly the song I just wrote 2, 3 days back. So that for me was just another level of spirituality. It just Ingoma had to be done.
Right.
Ingoma is it means a song in
Okay.
Xhosa. I'm Xhosa speaking. Yes, that's the meaning of Ingoma.
Wow, amazing. So, okay, so you wrote the song before you had the beat. What led you to go ahead and write the song? What was taking place for, of course, for yourself, your life? Tell us exactly what's happening at that time.
Because I had not been doing much, I wrote Ingoma recently. I wrote it around April this year. I'd not been doing much. I had not been having the events and everything. But then I picked up something. Music picks my spirits up. When I'm upset, music has a way of just, a song has a way of healing me. So Ingoma was an expression of the emotions that one goes through when
Mm,
listening to a song. As you
mm,
can hear it, Ingoma, a
mm,
song that basically explains the emotions that one goes through. If you're going through a hard time, a song can heal you. If you're going through love emotions, you've just met someone, you get goosebumps. A song as a way of encouraging that love. If you're mourning someone, a song has a way of healing you. You know,
mm.
a song has a way of transforming your life into another level, depending on the messages that you're listening to. But a song has a way of just changing the whole experience for you and defining life's moments to an individual. I had to just give it to the song and say, you know what? Ingoma, man, Ingoma, you know?
Beautiful. Oh man, I tell you, the spiritual connection, right? That I hear from you, just in regards to, of course, the events, is just truly amazing. We have to go ahead and give it up to the creator for that.
Thank you. Thank you
No
so
problem at
much.
all. So I have to ask, as a follow up question now, of course, you know what? You write the song, you get the beat, right? What was it like for you to go to record the song now? Right, you step into the booth, and do you still now, of course, have a little bit of stage fright when you step into the booth to record, or it's like, you know what, do or die, close your eyes and you just go with it.
It's amazing that the fright thing never goes away. It you always, even when I was actually recording the video, like we're about to record, and the
Okay.
name of the song is called Ingoma, the smile is a way of me comforting myself, because when
Okay.
I'm at the studio, it's not just me, it's the producer, it's
Right.
my support structure, my husband is there, for me, it's like I can't be, because I want critics. I want people I want to do so well that I just want to nail it the first time.
Hmm.
And for some reason, that's what happened with Ingoma, because I remember the few guys that were there who were sitting with my producer, we had to now just do the listening session together. They looked at me and they were like, you know what, this is indeed Ingoma. But the stage fright thing is there, because when you are in the studio, at the studio, you're not by yourself. There's
Right.
other people listening, and some of them are like, how do you come about? You are a weirdo and a creative at the same time, because now they'll be asking you, how do you come about it? What pushed you? What prompted you to write this? You are so deep. At some point you feel like, okay, fine, I'm like a weirdo now, and yeah, I know I'm a creative, but I'm sure this is all weird to those who can't actually do. Sorry,
Right. Right.
but that's that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful to hear. Let me tell you, sister, that's so wonderful to hear. Right. And it's rare, of course, to hear somebody nail it on the first take. Right. Normally, of course, to go back and forth, make tweaks here and there, right? But to hear that you nailed it, right? Absolutely beautiful. God bless.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So what was the feedback back from Giorgio?
Oh my goodness. Jojo is my encourager. When I sent the track to him and I asked the producer to email the stuff to him, I was so nervous. I was like a kid who went to write exams, and now the mom has to go and fetch the report, the school report. And Giorgio to me, I mean, and Anto and Giorgio to me were those parents that now need to go and get the school report at the
Mhm,
end of the year. And I was nervous. But the response that I got was just amazing. It
mhm,
was on another level. And I was excited because part of me expects it to be like that. But then again, there's that room that I have to leave that says you're human, you know.
mhm.
You love music, you're good at it. It's your natural gift, but you can't be 100%. You know, I was happy. I was quite ecstatic. The fact that I actually had to put the words to that song and have that whole thing, combined, Georgio salad, Babs, Babalwa Soul words. It's a salad. It's like your green salad. Everything just comes together, tomato, onion, lettuce, and it
Mhm.
makes this beautiful, you add your Greek salad, which is the sound, and it makes this beautiful taste in the ear. For me, that was it. Although I left the studio feeling like, okay, some people think I'm weird because I mean, who does this to the word a song? Because to
Mhm.
them it was the word a song. I
Right.
was praising the actual song. But
Right.
then I was thinking, oh my goodness, what about the headmaster? And, that's Giorgio and Antonello. Anto's response was amazing. It's actually quite encouraging to work with people that push you to be the best. They never complain. And as a result, I make sure that if I'm going to write anything with anyone, I have to be the best of the best, you know,
Mhm.
and if it's easy to work with them because they're quite flexible as well. So Antonello was quite encouraging. I'm sorry, I know I dragged it a long way.
Don't even worry about that. You know what? This is what we want to hear. We want to hear, of course, your responses because you know what? I tell you
I
this, right?
said,
To those out there who are listening, right? Maybe finding themselves in either in similar positions, right? Because I've come across artists,
yeah,
right, who've had the same thing. Oh yeah, I recorded, I sent it off. I just didn't know, but the response back was so encouraging again, right? And what it does to the spirit, right? So, and with that being said, for yourself, right? Uh, it's such a beautiful thing to hear. It is. It is such a beautiful thing to hear that you have so many wonderful people in your corner, right? Who continue to go ahead and make sure that you strive to be the best artist that you can be,
oh yes, yes.
for sure. So the
Well,
same, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what? Music is amazing. For me, unlike other people I've had people say, I have to go through a situation, then I get inspiration, right?
Hmm.
With me, the actual melody comes. Whether I'll be cleaning the house or washing the dishes or preparing the kids to school, or I'll be playing with the kids and my daughter, I think she has a similar gift and I were actually teasing Daddy the other day, and then she starts a song. You're gonna cry. You will see. You're gonna come back. You will see. So I'm thinking stuff like that actually is what inspires you. And you're like, actually, yeah. You know what? You can leave, but you're gonna come back.
Hmm.
You'll see. I'm crying, you'll cry. Out of such small moments, beautiful moments that life brings to us. And she was busy singing, and we were dancing, and I found myself dancing with her, and we were singing, begging baby not to sleep because we wanted to spend some time with him. And then
Right.
she's like, "No, you know what? You're gonna come back. You'll wake up. You're gonna cry." I was like, "Wow!" And it's amazing because you draw inspiration from such small things, just chilling as a family. And you're
Mm.
thinking, actually, I should add these lyrics here. Oh, let me go and finish that track. So basically, music has its way of saying, excuse me, Babsi, as they call me, you
Mm.
need it. Then I grab my book
Hmm.
immediately and I'll write the lyrics. But now I don't need interruption at that moment because it's like a trance of some sort. If
Right.
if I was listening to a soundtrack and repeatedly and then I get the lyrics, I have to stop whatever I'm doing because now it means in that 5 minutes I'm writing the whole song and the lyrics are just coming in. I've had people asking me, how do you rhyme in 5 minutes? And I said, it just comes. It comes
Mm.
to you as a full, you know, I treat music like a an angel of some sort that
Hmm.
comes to me and says, you said you wanted lyrics for this track, and here they are. Or
Mm.
Mr. Delivery that just comes and say, you wanted Debonaise, you wanted your margarita, here's it. You know, it comes at a time when I least expect it, but I won't even be thinking about that song, but I would have been listening. It is so in my subconscious that at any time, I could be in a train looking at people, something could just inspire me to take out my cell phone and just write the lyrics to a song. It's not about the mood. It's not about the experience. It just comes at any time. And I find myself just writing a song. And before I know it, I have a full thing. And I'll be
Mhm.
thinking, wow, music just, it does that. It's like being woken up in the morning, and before you know it, you've written a two-page um, whole song, and it's now playing in your head, and you can even hear the instruments, and you can hear the saxophone, you can hear drums, you can hear everything, you can even hear the choir, and you're like, it's such a beautiful experience. You're in
Mhm.
your own stage, in your own brain, and you're thinking, wow, this is an amazing journey. It's a beautiful journey. It's an
Mhm.
amazing experience for me, because doing what you love is a gift. Doing
Yes.
what you love is just a gift on its own, you know?
Yes, it
So
is.
yeah,
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, I know you mentioned family, and I do have to ask this before, of course, we go ahead and wrap things up. But do you ever think about having your daughter in the studio recording with your daughter at some point in time?
it's one of my assignments. I was talking to Anto one of the days, and I was actually busy rebuking my daughter. And he said to me, actually, I sent you a track, and I want those little voices there in
Mm,
that track. And she loves singing,
okay.
both her and my son. But I see her, she has a lot of my qualities musically, and that
Hmm.
boldness. And of course, she will turn in a song into her own lyrics, as long as the melody is the same to her. The lyrics are not really a problem, because she can actually fit what she hears, you
Hmm. Hmm.
know. So that's how she is. So, in one of the songs that I'm doing this summer, I'm adding her voice,
Oh,
and
nice.
with other kids, because Antonella said to me, no, we need. Oh, they were actually talking whilst I was sending a WhatsApp voice
Okay.
note to Anto. And I was like, no, you guys, you need to keep quiet. You're making it. And he said, actually, I need those voices in that track. So I was like, oh my goodness. I even apologized to him, because in the middle of the voice note, I was like, you guys are making noise. Come on. And I was like, oh, sorry, Anto. I was actually rebuking these kids, these kids.
Yes, yes.
And then it was like, I actually want those voices. So it was something else.
Oh, beautiful. We as Opera House fans, we definitely can't wait to go ahead and hear, of course, yourself and those little voices in the song coming up soon. That's
Of
for sure.
course, you're definitely gonna hear them this summer. It's actually one of the tracks that I've got about 4 projects that I'm working on. The
Hmm.
other one is a Shona track called Takachikora Nemachinda. I'm chilling with the guys. So it's a
All
Shona
right.
language, Zimbabwean. Yes,
All
Takachikora
right.
Nemachinda. That
Hmm.
one is being produced by Malvin Holiday.
Okay.
Malvin Holiday, I think. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
working with a lot of producers. Sorry if I don't mention someone's name correctly. And then there's another one as well. It's I call it the summer track. It's called Chisanyama. It's all about having barbecue,
Mm,
with friends and family on a beautiful summer day. That's the one Anta said. I want those voices there, those kids'
okay.
voices there.
All
That
right.
one
All
has been
right.
produced by Kingsman, DJ Kingsman. Yes. So I have those projects to actually work on. Shona had sent me something as well. So I have a pile, but because I'm a writer, I don't really write when I get a track. I actually go through my stuff. It's like going into a storeroom and say, which bottle can I use?
Right.
Or which item can I use for this? So I
Hmm.
basically do that.
Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. Definitely. So, as I've been told, the single comes out November the 5th. You mentioned that you are or in the process of recording a video. Is that correct?
I'm in the process of recording in the studio, not necessarily a video, because we just got into level one as the country. But
Yes.
yes, if Giorgio and Anto would like me to come to Rome and rock a video with them, why not?
That's good. There we go. Right. We'll put it out there. Antonello, just make it happen, please. Please. Georgie, you guys got to go ahead and
Of
make it happen.
course, of course, of course.
For sure. Please tell our fans where they can go ahead and find you and all your social media handles.
Okay, it's Babalwa Soul on Instagram. It's It's b.ss55 on Instagram. And then that's the only account I have because I've just started. I'm not good with digital stuff, but
Mhm.
on Facebook, it's Babalwa Mlungwana on Facebook, Babalwa Mlungwana. And then yeah, it's Instagram. I only have an Instagram page. Just search for Babalwa Soul on Instagram. You'll find me. You'll find me. It's under my personal account.
Beautiful. Sister, thank you so much once again for joining us today. It's such an honor just to go to hear your spirit, to feel your spirit, even though, of course, technology, it allows us to go and bring, us from such far distances a little bit closer. I could truly feel your passion and your spirit through all of this. So please continue to do
Thank
wonderful
you.
and great things.
I'm actually honored to even be in this platform with Ingoma because Ingoma was just my second project. So I'm grateful and thank you guys, Drums Radio, for having me. Anytime, any day you want me to write a jingle for you, I'm here.
Don't worry, you're definitely going to hear from me. Sister,
Thank you
once
so
again, no
much.
worries. Thank you as well. The honor was truly mine. And thank you so much. God bless you, sister. Family, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Babalwa Soul, Drums Radio, Dave Rankin, Ingoma, Giorgio Bassetti. Such a wonderful and beautiful spirit. I can't wait to go actually feature someone on the show. By means, you know what? As a first play, definitely we're gonna go ahead and run this out, send this out there to everybody. But yeah,